Hello, great people of YouTube. We have another part of my vlogs. Like I said before, I wanted to record a vlog about KotOR 2, the second part of great KotOR franchise created by BioWare. One of my favorite games. And yeah, I'll do it right now. So when you think about KotOR 1, it was created by BioWare. And KotOR 2 was created by Obsidian Entertainment, and Obsidian Entertainment is also known for creating Fallout New Vegas. And interestingly enough, Obsidian Entertainment, when they were creating Fallout New Vegas, they did the same scheme as they did when they were creating KotOR 2. So they used engine created by someone else, they took a solid game, and they didn't change it that much. They put a filter on it, they changed colors a little bit, and then they write a great story to it. They did the same thing with Fallout 3. So you have Fallout 3 created by Bethesda Studios, and it was a solid game, real nice, I really like this. And then Obsidian Entertainment buys a license, creates Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout New Vegas is very similar in mechanics to Fallout 3, but has very deep new story. Some people are hating on Fallout 3, they're saying it's not a real Fallout game. I do not agree with this point, but I do believe and I do agree that Fallout New Vegas is just better. Like, they take solid mechanics from Fallout 3, which is an FPS game. Like, it's really nice to shoot at some super mutants and, live in a 3D post-apocalyptic world. And then you get a really nice plot created by Obsidian Entertainment. And they did the same thing with KotOR, although here the situation is a little bit different because you have KotOR 1, which is already a great solid game with great plot created by BioWare. And then you have like this really challenging situation of overcoming a giant. So KotOR 1 was like ahead of its time. Even now, even though it's like not very aesthetically pleasing in terms of graphics, it has great combat system, great plot, interesting, captivating characters, storyline, mechanics. It's demanding, challenging, like great game, overall a great game. So how can you pursue something like this and actually try to overcome this? And Obsidian Entertainment succeeded. I played KotOR 1 and then played KotOR 2, and KotOR 2 really captivated my attention. So it has much darker plot than KotOR 1. And KotOR 2 is like very psychological in his analyze of human characters. Like, it presents a tragic story with a lot of betrayal and a lot of dwelling on people's weakness that is sometimes presented as strength. Because something that I learned through philosophy and the experiences of life is that real strength is often not seen. Like people who are bragging about themselves, who are screaming, who are portrayed as strong. Even political leaders, they have those very solid handshakes, they know manipulative tricks and so on. But it's not really impressive, because when you think about this, like for me, the real strength comes to one thing. How do you react when you are left alone with your thoughts? And most people are helpless. They need something else, new things, other things, to occupy their brain with. And something that you should opt for is that you are good, happy, solid with what you have, with how you are constructed, with how you think, everything, and then you treat everything else as an artificial addition to your already composed lifestyle. So you're okay with yourself, and then you choose through artificial work of brain that you will go to a new country, that you will read a book, that you will meet someone else, but you are never created by those things. And it's really interesting because, for example, in KotOR 2, you have this enemy, like you have many enemies in KotOR 2. The whole plot is about eliminating very powerful Sith Lords. Like that's the title of the game, Sith Lords. So one of your enemies is Darth Sion. And it's really interesting to analyze him because he's said to be immortal, he dwells in pain, he's sadomasochistic, and he's very powerful. He screams, he can use his lightsaber, he can fight, and it's really easy to fall for his fake strength because he has masculine voice, he looks dangerous, you know, he's scary. But you know, there is one situation in which you can see his weakness plain and clear. Because in most of role-playing games, you can be this fighting type that constantly wants to use his sword, his gun, or his lightsaber. But what I like to do is to always start with persuasion and rhetorics. So I focus on charisma of my character, so that when I have the situation, I will not go into violence. Like violence is like the last mean. If I cannot solve the situation through my persuasion, I will use violence to reach my goal. But I will not go into violence if I can solve the situation through rhetorics, charisma, and persuasion. And every character in my role-playing games was built like this. They were starting with great charisma, great speech, and interestingly enough, if the game was well built, like KotOR, you can win the whole game through using persuasion. And you have similar situation when you are fighting Darth Sion. So he's, like I said, he's really powerful, it is really demanding to fight with him. And he's presented as someone that's like very masculine, you know? Like he consumes fear of other people, consumes fear of other people, and so on. And it's really, like I said, it's really easy to fall for this illusion that he's powerful. But like I said, if you pursue the way of rhetorics and persuasion, in your final confrontation with Darth Sion, you can attack his ambition and attack his weakness. And it's really interesting because you see the whole illusion being stripped away. In terms of mechanics, it is like this. You see this one message that you overtalked Sion with your rhetorics, and right now his strength is diminished and it will be easier to fight with him. But like I said, he has a really nice masculine voice, and his voice disappears. Like he starts acting like a woman, you know? And there's nothing wrong about being a woman, like that's a general stereotype. But since we have like reduced amount of time, we will not dwell on the feminism right now. Of course you can be a strong woman, but general stereotype, seen in daily life as well, portrays women as very emotional and weak. And like I said, it's a stereotype, but we'll not dwell on this right now. Although maybe we should. Because I can already like explain the whole thing to you. Because in KotOR 2, you can also play as a woman character, and you can create your character. I did not do the thing. I played as a male character because I like to fully immerse myself. But I also am aware that it's possible to create a female character, and you can make it a strong woman. You know, you had like this Empress of Russia, Catherine II. She was very cunning, intelligent, and strong. So you can be a strong woman. So maybe it was a stereotype. If you want to discuss this, we can discuss this. So maybe we can change this. So Darth Sion did not start to act like a woman because it might be diminishing to my female population that watches this video. And like I said, many women are very strong. I fall into the trap of stereotype. I'm terribly sorry that I just insulted women through the stereotype. So back to our topic, Darth Sion has this masculine voice, and overall strength. But then when you talk with him and when you use like cold, intelligent persuasion, you use arguments, and it's really interesting because you also need to watch out with arguments, because I truly believe that we can change the topic a little bit, because arguments like are overly famous. Like, if it was so easy, it would be enough to learn logics and you would win in life. Yet very intelligent people are often alone, problematic. They do not possess the earthly success, as I call this. So they're not very rich, they do not have many women, and I consider it like a really nice thing. If you can do those things, if you can be rich, and it's possible, if you can like have a lot of women, it's also possible. Why should you not strive for this? And like in general population, it is seen as a success, as earthly success, if you're rich and handsome and so on. Of course, we can dwell on the topic of earthly success. If like, when you think about this, maybe like people who are like very intelligent, like Friedrich Nietzsche, like he had many problems with women, so he could not talk with them. Like, you get this. Like, we are jumping from the topics, but if you are intelligent, you will connect the dots. What I'm saying is like there is no one recipe for success. Like, logic would be the smartest choice. You use logic, it's very demanding genre of studying, really demanding to be competent, able, professional in logics. Yet even if you dominate logics, you will still have problems in life. So I truly believe like true persuasion, true rhetorics is like talking with your children a little bit. So you treat your opponent like your children, so you do not want to hurt them, but you also have your own goal in mind. So for example, you have your children and you try to persuade them into eating well and healthy. You listen to them and you value their opinion, but for example, your son or daughter says that she or he wants to eat a lot of candy. You cannot allow this because you would be a bad parent. So sometimes you need to use other tools and ways of persuasion. You can use logic, but your children will not respect you. Besides, they are incapable of understanding logic. So use different means. You behave in a certain way. You can even use manipulation, psychological manipulation. And mind you, manipulation is not bad from its nature. It can be used in evil ways, like many world leaders and politicians are manipulative and they use it in evil ways. But manipulation is done very unconsciously and is very effective. So for example, great ways to manipulate is modulating your voice, using emotions, using stereotypes. Because I realized this, that in life it's not about like general truth. Because as Friedrich Nietzsche said, die Wahrheit ist hässlich, which means that the truth is disgusting. Like, truth about life is very simple. I will not talk about this right now because that's not the topic of our video. But when you deconstruct life to very simple biological and chemical reactions, it's broad and simple. And I think like you can discuss whether it's disgusting or not, but I think like you can feel disgust because you were manipulated through literature, religion, history, your parents, grandparents, friends, into this illusion that life is something more. And it's not. It's very simple and biological and materialistic, and you only have this world here and now. And if it was injected into your brain early on, you would not have problems with this. But you are injected with illusion that life is something more, and then when you think about this, you do not see this something more in daily life. It does not mean it's something bad. You just have this désaccord, as we say in French language, which means that you have this zgrzyt, as we say in Polish language. So like this situation of contrast. You believe in something, and then you see daily life is completely different. It does not mean it's bad, but it's just different. So, we already have 15 minutes. To recapitulate, Darth Sion is very powerful, but you can overtalk him. And that was like one of the most cherishful moments of my playthrough through the game. Because I was like skilled warrior, I could use my powers, and I could kill him in like normal lightsaber fight. But first of all, it would not be strategy, because after my persuasion he was weaker, his attributes diminished, and it's the same thing in psychology. If you can attack someone's self-awareness and his feeling of security, if you will diminish his ego, he or she will be much weaker. Like, most of the strength in humans comes from the psyche. That is why we are so much better than animals. Animals are plain and simple. They focus solely on biological instinct. But humans have like really unique ways of building their mental capacity. So for example, they can be weak physically, but strong mentally. Look at crippled people, at beggars, at people without hands, without legs. They are smiling, they are having good hormones. You feel secured near them, like some of them, like you get this. It's their thing. Like you can be a cripple and you can cry, and you will be just weak. Or you can be a cripple or a beggar or someone with some kind of a problem with an illness. Maybe you have a cancer or something, and you can still develop mental strength. And that is something that Darth Sion does not possess. He reminded me of an animal. He was very strong physically, but I broke him into pieces through my persuasion and psychology. And my win over him was much more satisfying thanks to the situation. So I realized how weak he is in terms of mental capacity. So think about this. I could talk about KotOR 2 for quite much more of time, like analyzing just the villains, like the main opponents, Sith Lords and so on. Like, you have more than 3 opponents in this game. We just analyzed one of them, and look how many topics we analyzed with this occasion, with this opportunity. We analyzed psychology, books, literature, philosophy, logics, daily life, reality, and so on. And I am truly impressed that video game can lead you to such analysis. I'm a big fan of books and of movies and of meeting new people, traveling and so on. But like I said in my previous videos, I truly believe that if you are intelligent and you can look at video game with respect, that you do not want just to kill time, you want to play some boring situation in which you do not think about anything, that you respect video game and you try to look at this as a complete creation that wants to teach you something, then you will definitely find a pleasure in KotOR 2. I truly recommend to you playing this game. And think about your main opponents, about their situation. When you will play this, think about them, analyze them, and see how well it corresponds to life. Take this. Bottom ground is like this. Real strength cannot be reducted, cannot be overtalked, It's like the closest thing that you get to immortality, We won't pursue the topic more, but just think about this. Yeah. Thank you for your audience. Have a great day. Please, if you have time, play KotOR 2, analyze your opponents, and try playing as someone that's very intelligent, and try to diminish your opponents before defeating them, because only then your victory will be truly satisfying and full. Because moments before your victory over your opponents, you will see how weak they are. Thanks.